Hi y'all, I'm Taylor Lancaster with Achilles Hypnosis, and today in this video is a seminar I did with Jennilyn McKinnon. Again, I'm Taylor Lancaster, and in this video we're talking about a seminar on the theory of the mind, and it was a seminar for weight loss. But this material can be used for anything. Okay, this is pretty much theory of the mind and law of attraction principles here in this video. So again, so in this video, it's going to be a little timed off with the audio and the video because it's refurbished material, and the video was originally from Facebook. So I'm sorry and I apologize for that now. But I hope you enjoy and get this material and use it and have fun with it, okay? Have a blessed day.
I'm Jennilyn McKinnon, and I am a certified hypnotherapist and also a registered nurse with 25 years experience. And I am going to demonstrate to you the theory of the mind and how the mind works and why it's so important, the messages that we tell ourselves, and how we can reframe and easily change our current reality into what we want. I'm going to draw a picture. So this is a bit of the theory of the mind. We have a blank computer. So our mind is very much like a computer. In fact, the computers were designed to mimic the mind. And when we're born, we have a blank computer. Now we do have a few programmings that come through our DNA. And so we get born and we have a conscious mind and we have our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is made up of approximately 2,000 neurons. Our conscious mind is our five senses. Is the input system of the body, the things that we see, we hear, we taste, we smell. And then we have our subconscious mind. So conscious mind is approximately 10%, and our subconscious mind requires 4 billion neurons to run our subconscious mind. It never has to sleep, and it runs 24/7. And it is the other 90%. So when we're born, we have this blank computer and these programmers. And the programmers of our lives become the authority figures in our life, which, who would that include, Sherry?
Parents, teachers, peers, yes, dignitaries.
Yeah. Siblings, yeah, you said peers. Essentially, for that little tiny infant, it's anyone who is bigger than them. Now, it's important to know that between the ages of 1 to about 6 years old is when that mind is opened and it is developing, and everything that that child hears is just accepted as truth. There's no filter to say whether it's right or wrong. It's just accepted as is. So we have an event in our life, and the X will represent the event. And in that event, let's say a child spills the milk, and a parent says to that child, "You are so bad, you spilled the milk." So we have the event of spill the milk. We have the input, the parent recording disbelief that you're bad or clumsy, whatever the messages are that are fed. And then that child, the next time that they have a cup of milk in their hand or a cup of juice, they are going to be much more likely to spill the milk again. They're going to be nervous about it, but now they have a belief that started that I'm supposed to spill the milk because I'm bad, and it becomes a part of our identity. Well, then that child goes to school and they act out into class, and up here says to them, you are so bad. I can't believe you're so bad. You are just always bad. And if the teacher, a well-meaning teacher, tells him that he's bad, that how come you're the bad kid? You're the bad kid in this school. Well, it becomes part of their identity, and they begin to think that that's how they're supposed to act, that they're supposed to be bad, and then they act out accordingly, and it continues and continues until we get to adulthood. And then we have more events, and we get layers and layers and layers. Now, in the event of weight loss, if we have a belief that I'm fat, and if they see examples around them in their family of people that are obese or overweight, and they become labeled as being fat, they begin with that belief system that they are supposed to be fat. And so they act out accordingly, and they continue to get fat, and that pattern is set. Now the good news is that we can change the pattern and reframe it just by acknowledging that it exists and what we can do about it. And then, and with this subconscious right here, it does not think in negatives. It only sees in pictures. So if I say to you, Cherry, please do not think of that pink Corvette that you just want to drive. Just don't think about that pink Corvette in the parking lot. What do you think about the pink Corvette, right? Because it's a picture. And so with that picture in the mind, it becomes magnified, and we have our imagination. Now, if I take a lemon, pretend I have a lemon right here, and I slice it, and I give you half of the lemon. Now lick the lemon. Ooh, yuck. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Anyway, my body responds as if there's a lemon there, but that's just silly. There's just pretend. There's no lemon there. And yet I respond as if there's a lemon. And it's because the subconscious cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined, which makes hypnosis so powerful, because we change the picture in the mind, reframe it, create it to be a new experience, and then that becomes the reality. Now it's important to know that, so we have our belief systems that get started, whether it's right or wrong, doesn't matter. The belief system is there. And then we have the subconscious and the conscious minds. But when that belief system is in the subconscious, it becomes the driving force for the rest of our life. And we spend our life reinforcing that false belief. And with hypnosis, we go back to that little 4-year-old, look at the event for what it really is, empower the 4-year-old in those thoughts and that part of the brain, and let them see the reality, the truth of the situation, that it's not their fault, that they really had no control. They were a small child. And then we can reframe it, and we can change it, and we can let it go. And it's important to know that when a small child, in our brain development, as it's developing, when a child experiences a traumatic event, and that can be whatever is traumatic for that child, however much emotion is put into that event. If there's in domestic violence, it is accelerated. So if we take the example of the spilled milk, a child spills the milk, and a parent just, oh, you just spilled the milk, let's clean it up. The brain development remains just really steady, and there's no harm done. But if that parent gets angry and violent or yells at the child, then the acceleration of the belief system of I'm bad, I'm clumsy, I'm fat, whatever that is, the more emotion that's put into it magnifies the brain activity 2,500 times, which is why domestic violence is a big deal, punishable by law, and it's there so we can protect our children and protect their minds from holding on and gathering those beliefs. Now, for the positive side, we use this to our advantage, because when we put positive emotion into an event, and we can magnify the brain neuroactivity and the growth in our minds and solidify that belief 2,500 times faster. So it works the same for the positive or the negative, which really works in our favor, especially in the area of hypnosis, as we're developing and changing our beliefs. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, it gives me hope. The garbage that gets stuffed in our,
Oh my gosh.
as a child, yeah.
And that all we need to do is reframe the event. And we acknowledge it, we reframe it, and then we can let it go. Because it's a lie. It's a lie. You don't have to be fat forever.
You're not bad.
You're not bad. No little child is deemed a bad child. It's their programming that makes them so. I believe that of adults too, that they just are acting out based on that programming that started when they were little and whatever abuses they had. There's always a source. So.
Yeah, because those X's, just the thingy. Okay. I'll talk to you. So the X's are just events, and the wraparound is just our perspective. We always can think, like the Mormon pioneers, a lot of them didn't come because they thought there was no hope, but a lot of them came. So you got the same situation. They all went through Kirkland, they all went through Nauvoo, but some of them just didn't come because they didn't believe it was gonna do any good for them, and the other ones were like, there's no other way. So again, perspective. It's all perspective, those rings around.
Okay.
Okay. Good, you can see me, everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I forgot your name again.
Cherry.
Cherry.
Just think of the
Nice
cherry
name.
on top.
Okay, that's a nice name. So, you are here for the weight loss thing, right?
Yeah, very interested.
Okay. So, I left my notes at home, but I pretty much have them up here. So with hypnosis, it is a good tool, okay? As we understand it, and as we've been taught, we allow people to go back into their imaginations and relive certain things and see what really the perspective needs to be changed to, and to also rehearse what we want to do. So for example, if you wanted to be like a biker, like a cyclist, not the guy up here. If you wanted to be a cyclist that won the Tour de France, you would have to imagine yourself winning the Tour de France as well as doing other things. Imagine yourself doing other things. We call that rehearsal, mental rehearsal.
Okay.
Make sense? Okay, the same thing goes for like weight loss and everything else with hypnosis that we do. Okay, there's one caveat, because people think that it's a magical pill. Okay, because like, oh, I'm hypnotized now, I'm never gonna smoke, or I'm never gonna gain weight ever again. There's a caveat. I'm gonna do that with a story. I'm sorry if I get a little emotionally. So, Socrates was a philosopher back in Greece, and he had a student who wanted to know how to be the most successful in life. Okay, and this kid, if we could, how would you say it, immerse ourselves, or translate it to our day, the kid would probably be, Socrates, need some help. I want to be successful, but I just don't know how. So Socrates, being the smart, whimsical person that he is, said, with me. Went down to a river. He went down into the river. And they're not going to get baptized, of course. But they both go down into the river up about to here. And he says, come here. And he came here and he starts to plunge him under. And he's writhing, he's kicking him, trying to get back up. He brings him back up, gives him a breath of air, and then he shoves him back down again. Same thing, you're going to fight for air. Then he brings him back up again, walks a little away so he doesn't get punched. And the kid pretty much says, what was that for? And he says, you know exactly what it was for. You wanted to know the secret of success. Did you learn anything? It's like, no, I was trying to breathe. And he said, that's the point. You gotta want it more than air. You gotta want it more than living. That's a little deep there, but you pretty much have to really, really want it. You've got to want it in order to receive it, especially with hypnosis. Okay? Because we have clients that come in and I bat 300 on a good day. The client still has to bat 300 on a good day. Because unless they want to succeed, you have to be able to want it. Because really, again, hypnosis is an altered state of awareness in which you can enhance something. If you don't want it, it's just, oh, it's a nice little dream. Like goals, they're just dreams. Unless you write them down and you actually do them and you have objectives. So hypnosis is a tool to allow you to do the work. Because if you can imagine yourself doing the work, then you're successful. Kind of like with the cyclist thing I said, you have to imagine yourself standing up on the trophy board, but you also have to imagine yourself putting in the hard work in order to get to the trophy board. Because I don't think Lance Armstrong's like, oh, I see myself on the trophy board, I don't have to do anything else. He had to put in the work. And hypnosis, again, is the altered state of awareness in which you imagine or you see yourself or feel yourself receiving different things in order to better yourself. Does that make sense? That's my whole spiel. Do you have any questions?
Sounds really good. That's exactly how it is. That's how it works. And the greater the desire for that individual that's being hypnotized, the more success you're going to have.
Yeah. If you have questions, go ahead in the comment box below and type it out, and I might make a video for you, or I'll just answer it for you straightforward. Whatever works best for you. And again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you're not new to the channel and you like the material, go ahead and give the thumbs up and press that button, because everything helps. And again, thank you for watching this video. I'm Taylor Lancaster, Certified Consulting Hypnotist. Have a blessed day.